What's up, Dunwoody? Welcome back to the podcast. It's all about Dunwoody, Georgia. My name is Matt Weber. Show is brought to you by Dr. Brett Friedman with Village Orthodontics and Discover Dunwoody. Today, I've got Roey Shoshan on today. I don't even know where he came from. I know that I talked to Erez at Crema, and then he put me to you, and then all of a sudden I'm talking to you. And we're talking before the show, and you used to own Crema. So let's start there. Like, how did you end up in Dunwoody owning a coffee shop?
Yeah, first of all, a big shout out to your sponsor. I actually had my Invisalign through him, so you did a great job. So there you go. My smile
He's
now
done
is all
all
thanks to him. There you go. He's
Couldn't
amazing.
speak more highly of his business.
Thanks for inviting me. This is great. Yeah, like you said, I came from Israel 15 years ago to Dunwoody. Originally to work at the JCC, which is where I work now, the Jewish Community Center. Mm-hmm. And when you come from Israel, coffee is a big deal. And coffee is kind of like part of our culture. We like to sit and drink coffee. We like to, convene around coffee. And it's usually a place where, you get to do all your Friday night errands in the morning and whatnot. And we didn't really have a place like that here in Dunwoody. So a bunch of people got together and a group of us decided to start a coffee shop. We found this amazing space that used to be a butcher shop back in the days, for those that remember.
That's what I've heard.
And it was kind of like standing there. And one of my friends back then said, this could be a great spot for the coffee shop. And he had that vision of, really creating a space for it. And we decided to go for it. Crema has been open since 2013. I was part of the original group, the original owners and the co-founders. And really, the vision was to create a community place, to have a place where people come by, have a cup of coffee, have something to eat. The kitchen and everything was designed to be a little bit more, French style, more like a brasserie thing. And, it was great. For the first year, when we were there, I think we found that having a coffee shop is a very demanding business. It's very time consuming. And at a certain point, we decided to sell our shares and get out. And when Erez,
person stuff. I own a restaurant.
A lot. When you have a full-time job and people keep coming, hey, I'm here at the coffee shop. Let's get coffee. I want to see the place. I'm coming for coffee. And you have to keep driving back and forth. You're kind of thinking to yourself, I don't know if I did a good thing here.
You're expected to be there for sure.
Exactly. And you know what? You should be there because it's a very demanding business. It's one that takes a lot of work and also getting to know the customers and the clients. And I think that was one of the challenges that it was for us, at least in that sense, that, you want to be there all the time, but also you have a job that you're expected to be in as well. You can't be two places at once. So in 2014, Erez and his partner Udi came along and really took over the place. And I have to say, has done a tremendous job in really creating that vision that we all had in the beginning and making it the community place that it is now. I mean, when you go into Crema today, what you notice in the first time you see is that the tables are full, people are having fun.
Always
full. It could be a group of ladies playing mahjong. It could be a couple of kids that are eating something from the kids menu. People are having meetings, having their laptops. And that's really what the goal and the vision was, to give Dunwoody that place, that staple that you can say, you can come by and it's kind of like Cheers. Remember the show Cheers where everybody knows your name? It's really true. The staff at Crema does an amazing job to not only know what your order is and approach you by their first name, but also give you a feeling like you just, you've hit home and stay as long as you want. There's no pressure. Yeah. Bring your laptop, bring your friends, do whatever you need, take your business meetings there. And what's nice is that, it's owned by a local family and it's being operated by, local people that are there every day. Erez, his wife, Shirley, is in the kitchen every day. She's in charge of all the menu. She's in charge of all the seasonal stuff that you do, all the culinary stuff. She's out there working 7 to 4 every day, making sure that the business is running. So, sometimes when you see these mom and pop shops, you don't really get to see the people behind the scenes. But when you go to Crema, there's always going to be that table in the back next to the refrigerator that you can always meet either Erez or Shirley. Say hello. They'll be super nice to you. They want to meet the people. And I think that when the place that I noticed it the most was actually during COVID. If you remember, a lot of things in Dunwoody was, shut down. People were at home. And I think Crema stepped up in a way that I haven't seen any other business do personally. they decided not only to stay open, but they really changed their entire operation. They kind of took the register outside so people can order outside.
Yeah.
They created an infrastructure where you can order through their app, through the phone. Their entire family, they have 3 kids, was working at the cafe, including their family members. So it was a joint effort, all hands on deck to make sure that the place is still running. And I think people really appreciated the fact that they stayed in business during that difficult time and really gave people a place and an outlet to come and have a cup of coffee and get together and get out of the house and do something different.
Yeah.
But it was definitely a challenging time. So the way that they came out a lot stronger from that period, I think speaks a lot about who they are as individuals, but also how important the business is for Dunwoody. If you think about it, this is 2026. It's been 13 years. That's a long time for a business to stay that long. And I know that people always commented that to Erez and to Shirley that, you're the longest business that ever lasted in that location. That's always been something and been changing. But it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work and it's a lot of effort on their part to create that atmosphere. Their staff has been there for a long time. So when you come in, you're probably going to recognize the faces. And it's fun to see that kind of consistency with employees. It tells you something about the business.
Right.
So
it's hard to do.
Yeah. It's very hard to do.
And this is the right area too. I feel like Dunwoody's got some good kids that can, come in and grow up there.
100%. Yeah. And they've seen it. So I think, for me, I love the fact that a place that we started 13 years ago is still up and running. People are loving it. I hope that they would decide to expand one day. And I know that when I talked to Erez about it, he does have that desire to maybe start another location. He just needs to be the right place. Could be whether, Sandy Springs or Alpharetta, or a place that he feels the Crema vision can really be replicated there. But, as of now, they're very determined and focused on creating this one, the best that they can for the people in Dunwoody. And I think it's very noticeable. I was at the parade last week, and the amount of people that comes in and out, before the parade and after, and just saying hi and being so nice. And the amount of regular customers that they have. You walk in there, you just you recognize the faces. So you give a little hello there and a hello there. And people just love coming there and feeling, that they're part of something. So it's been amazing.
I love that you, I think if I sold a business, I don't know if I'd ever come back there. I love that you are still like, that's my spot,
Yeah. It's beyond friendship. Other than my friendship with Erez and Shirley and Udi, I think that I think that they really created that atmosphere that I was looking for. For me, I do a lot of meetings. I work in philanthropy, so a lot of the meetings that I do with people, I like to do them at Crema. There's always a great atmosphere. It's very close. There's parking right there, and I think that their products are amazing. When you look at a coffee shop, the most important thing is the coffee. And when we researched in the beginning how to create like the perfect blend, they're still using the same beans that we've used in the beginning, the Arabica beans. I'll give you a funny story. The most expensive expense that we've had when we opened the business was actually the coffee machine. That coffee machine is called La Marzuco. It's really the Rolls Royce of coffee machines. When you go and you research and you Google, what's the best one, that you're always going to have that brand. It's an Italian company. And the way that they send it over, it's not like when you buy like a Keurig that they just send you a box. They send you everything in parts from Italy. And a guy comes in basically with a tool set and starts taking away all the stuff from the box and start assembling the machine at your business. So when he does the fine tuning and he does all the little touch-ups and whatnot, it is a completely perfect, blend of everything together, because he wants to make it so perfect that when you make that first cup of coffee, Italians, it's really important to them, the espresso. And that machine is, thank God, knock on wood, is still there. That red Rolls Royce, 13 years, still going. And it's amazing because they really, they invest in not just the beans and the coffee, but their menu is great. If you ever had the chicken salad, if you ever had the farm goat salad, and the croissants are, everything is almost that I know is being done in place. They buy some of the bread from local, communities, local businesses to support the community, but the majority of the thing is being done in-house, which is great because you want to walk into a place and they just brought a fresh batch of croissants or danishes. You smell that, and that's all over the place. And you're like, it creates an appetite. So I think it's really nice that they're able to really, not only say that they're, operating all in house and making everything in house. You actually get to see it when you go there and you take a look at the kitchen, and
Yeah.
so I think that's great. And so, like I said, like that when we start the place 13 years ago, we said, well, we have to invest in a coffee machine. Like, we're going to be selling a lot of coffee.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I want to get into how much it cost, but it was the most expensive thing that we had to pay for when we opened the place up.
Yeah.
But by far the best investment, because when you think about the final product, people always commented how coffee in Crema is so good. It's got a rich blend to it, and the baristas, they know what they're doing. So in
Well,
that
I
sense,
gotta
I think
say,
it's great.
we're kind of trendsetters in Dunwoody, because when you were there wasn't that many coffee shops around. There was Starbucks, which is a kind of a completely different model. And then
Yeah.
that was really it. I mean, I can't think of any. And now since then, I think it's maybe like probably right after COVID, I would say 21, 22 is when now there's a whole bunch of them around
Yeah.
town. Why do
Yeah.
you think coffee's exploded like that? You think people just need a place to actually interact in person with people? I think that's a big part of it. The
I
community.
think, you hit a great point. I think it's people just need an excuse to get together. And what better way to do that over a cup of coffee? Because a
Right.
lot of times, when I meet with people there, they say, I don't really drink coffee, but I still like coming here. Because,
Yeah.
I think what COVID showed us is that we're social beings. We want to be around
You
people.
need
We
it.
want to be around our friends and people even that we don't know. And
Yeah.
what a better way to do that than to sit in a place that has some light music, that people are talking. You see people from different generations, different aspects of life, different religions and cultures, just
Yeah.
coming together. And I think that the being cooped up inside the house and during COVID for quite a few months really got that desire in people. And I think people at the end of the day, they want to be around other people.
Yeah.
And I think that you see that influx of coffee shops around Dunwoody is really because that, one, I think Dunwoody's community has grown significantly. People are
Yeah.
moving to Dunwoody. It's a great place to live, for many, many reasons. But also, when you have a population moving to a place, like, you got to find all these different outlets to let them, come together. And I think that what Crema was able to do is really show that, yes, you have the establishment coffee shops, the Starbucks of the world and whatnot. But at the end of the day, you want a certain feeling when you come in. And that feeling was able to be created in Crema. And I think other coffee shops are trying to create that feeling as well.
Yeah.
So, whether if it's through a geographical area, some of the ones in Dunwoody are more towards, like the Dunwoody Village area, which is great. But I think competition is a good thing.
Yeah.
I always say to Erez, and to everyone, and they know it, that, that you were the first to create that kind of ambiance and atmosphere. It's great. People are following you. Now it's up to you to stay innovative. And one of the things that I like that they always do is they find ways to get the community back involved. They
Yeah.
have a group. They have book clubs that come into Crema. They have people that play mahjong that come into Crema. They have officers and from the Dunwoody police that get together there
Do a
once a
lot.
week. And when you see them, I always say hi. It's always nice to see. And they also do a lot of things. Charities. They help with spirit nights. Dunwoody High School. They have a partnership with them. And when I was there, in the beginning we started doing all these open mic nights and community performances, and that's still
That's cool.
happening. Erez actually installed this amazing multimedia system. We
Okay.
just showed the Argentina game there last week,
Oh,
which was amazing. People came by and watched the World Cup. So in many ways, the ability to have the outside that now is being covered, they have that beautiful tent outside that you
right.
can sit there, winter, summer, whatever, which opens up more seating options. And also that great parking lot that, has now over 25 spots. You can do a lot in that area, and you can have a lot of things happening. And they're always thinking about how to innovate and bring performances into there, and to do things that would help, create that ambiance and atmosphere that people are looking for, I think, when they
Yeah.
come to a place like Crema.
And it
Uh,
is atmosphere. Like, you guys don't have the drive-throughs. Like, it's just different. It's different than Starbucks.
yeah,
You don't
yeah.
you know,
The drive
come in.
through. It's always been a thing since we started, and it's funny that you say that because the people are always asked, like, why don't you just do a drive-through? Like, what's the problem? Like, it's a coffee shop. People are so used to it,
Yeah.
and yes, there is the construction piece of it. Where to actually put the drive-through, because the way that the place is constructed.
Yeah.
It can't really be on the right side of Crema, but if you do it on the left side, it's kind of, but Erez is a very talented guy. I'm sure he could have figured out a way, but I really think that the main reason is
And the other ones don't have them either.
yeah,
That's the thing about a coffee shop. Like, you want people to come in and hang out.
exactly. It's exactly it. They want people to come inside. If they come inside Crema and they say hello and they pick up their order. And by the way, they created a nice system now where there's a couple of parking spots that are designed for pickup orders. Now in the age of mobile ordering and all that kind of stuff, you kind of have to have that. But if somebody's ordering through their app, which by the way, they have a great app, I recommend downloading it and getting points and then getting some free stuff from there. When you come in and you have to physically go inside and pick up your coffee or your croissant or whatnot, that actually requires you to say hello. That would make them say hello to you. And that's how you create a community. And that's how you create a relationship between, your customers and the owners and the employees. And I think that's part of the reason why they're kind of fine with the fact that they don't have a drive-through. They'll find other ways. But, when you have to stop your car, park it, go inside, take your thing, the chance you'll say hello or you'll get a smile back might, help jump your day a little bit up. And I think that in that sense, it's great for them. Not to say that if they're going to open up another location, maybe they'll do it there. But I think that kind of works. It's working great for them until now. So,
well, it's part of building the community too, where when people come in there, they see somebody else they know. Like so we used to do the podcast in person with everybody, and it was really cool because, we'd have Mayor Deutsch over at my house, sitting on my kitchen table, and do a podcast. And then the next person that comes in is, a local business owner or something. I'm able to introduce the two of them, and you're always part of the relationship. And is probably part of a million different relationships. It's part of our relationship. Like, it's the first time I met you there, and it's a special thing. That's a cool way of doing it.
It is. And I think you've hit the nail on the head. I think that at the end of the day, when you are walking in there and you're seeing the people, it kind of makes you feel like, oh, I'm at home. Like it is like you're sitting in your living room and whatnot. And the combination of, the food and the drink and the atmosphere that they, decided to do, they changed the place from what it was when we first opened. They added a lot of different seating. They added a lot of art to it. They painted the walls. They added the multimedia system and the lighting. So they've done some changes to make it feel a little bit different and more homey in that sense. And I think that's kind of like been the trend with a lot of places that you mentioned that you walk in. It feels a little bit different, with the lighting and the colors and the atmosphere. Because people like at the end, I want you to stay there. I don't want you to just take your stuff and leave. That's really the whole point of the business. And the best thing about when I walk in there, yes, I know the owners and it's great and whatnot, but I actually get to recognize a lot of community members there and people that I work with are going there. And, like where I work at the JCC, we come in there, we have a discount that we can use. So they really help support other businesses and help create an incentive to come to Crema, and get that, a special cup of coffee or your favorite sandwich or pasta or salad, whatever it is. So,
that's the most important part to me too. Like the paint on the walls and the art, that's cool. But having Greg Bluestein sitting next to me at the table, that's the ambiance you really want.
Writing his next book or talking to whatever government official on the phone. That's pretty cool. You get to see that live, and experience that as well.
Cool.
But like I said, I think for me, the best thing is that, we had a vision 13 years ago to create a community place, a real coffee shop, just like the ones we have back home. And to have people come in there and really enjoy their time and to be known to the management and to the employees. Like I said, just like Cheers, where everybody knows your name. And I think they've done a tremendous job in, taking that vision and harnessing everything together and creating that perfect spot, that perfect blend, if we're going to coffee metaphors, that allows people to, feel like that place is part of their fabric, their culture. It's part of the Dunwoody culture. It's been a part of it for 13 years, and I think it's going to be there for many, many years.
All right, quick time out. You thinking about selling your home this year? Probably not. Statistically, like 10% of you are. And if that's you, I would love to be a realtor right now. If that's not you, plug into my What's Up Dunwoody Facebook pages and groups. You can follow Top End ATL on TikTok and Instagram. Let me help keep you informed on what's going on around town. And then when you do need an agent, you know right where to find me. Or maybe you know somebody who would like to move to the area. You can send them some of What's Up Dunwoody stuff and say something like, this guy would be a fun agent to work with, because it's true. I'm actually super fun to work with. And I know this city and I love the city more than the next guy. So if you ever need a real estate question answered, a neighborhood opinion, or just help connecting the dots around Dunwoody, hit me up. And thanks for listening to the podcast. This episode and every episode of the show is brought to you by Discover Dunwoody, Dunwoody's destination marketing organization that is focused on promoting the city, supporting local businesses, and driving visitors here. And if you follow What's Up Dunwoody on social, you've already seen a lot of their stuff. I'm constantly sharing their amazing videos that they put out because, frankly, they're better than I can make. So why not share theirs? The events page on their website is another one of the best resources in the city, and way more people should be using it. It's constantly updated. So bookmark whatsupdunwoody.com/events and look at it once a week because there's always something fun happening here. You just don't know where to find it. And Crema's awesome for us with the parade as well. We just got done with the parade last week, and Erez, couldn't be nicer and couldn't be more inviting to everybody. Let us use the bathrooms, let us use the parking lot, which there's not that many parking spaces. And for him to allow us to set up a tent in there, do all that stuff, I really appreciate that. So before we go, I want you to talk about your job at the JCC a little bit. Maybe I can have you back at another point, but there's such a large Jewish population in Dunwoody. And so tell me what the J means to Dunwoody.
Yeah, absolutely. The JCC, stands for Jewish Community Center. It's been around since probably the facility's been around since 2000, the building that you see today. And it really is a place that we convene the community. People think that only Jews can go into the JCC and are only allowed to be members. That's not the truth. We actually have about 70 to 75% that is Jewish. The rest is not.
That's me.
There you go. And the JCC's goal originally, if you go back years and years ago, was to help assimilate Jews in America. It was to help them, learn how to read and write in English, how to get your first job and whatnot. And slowly it transitioned into a community center, the place where you go and you learn how to swim, and you go to camp, and you maybe put your kid in a preschool. And as a teen, you participate in a teen program. And then later on, you play basketball. And then your whole life is kind of like entrenched in this community center that allows you to come in and participate in many, many different programs. The JCC today just finished a couple of months ago a huge renovation project. We raised close to $40 million to make this campus be the best in the country as far as JCCs in America. We redid our entire pools. We built 15 pickleball courts. We renovated our tennis courts. We've added 100 parking spots. We redid the entire gyms and our fitness program. We invested $10 million in our overnight Camp Barney up in the mountains of Georgia. And we really made it such a beautiful facility that we've seen such an increase in members in the last 2 years, which is great. And a lot of people are all of a sudden noticing us or saying, well, I have this great facility here that has everything. I can work out, I can take a class, I can put my kid in a sports program. I can put him in camp. He can play mahjong. We opened actually like a small cafe, kosher, for the people that, want to eat kosher food. But really, when you walk in now, there's such an inviting and cool atmosphere there. But I would love to do a separate, podcast about that and talk about the significance of that place in the Jewish community, and also what we had to go through in the last few years since the start of the war and all that in Israel on October 7th, and how that really transformed and changed a little bit about our mission plan. But very proud of the job that I do there. But we'll do a separate one about that.
It's a special place. I feel like when we first moved here, we got a membership there, and the vibe to me was people were there for the sports, for the camps. The summer camps are huge. But those were the main things that I saw. And now there's the pickleball courts, and that pool is like Disney World. Like it's amazing. That's my wife and kids' favorite part. They just love that pool, or the pools. Yeah. There's 3 of them. And then the pickleball courts are amazing. So there's all these different communities inside of those gates.
Exactly, and it's all coming together. It's really great. If you're a pickleball guy, sometimes you don't even know there's a main building. You just come in and you loop around. But there's a whole new life out there that has been growing since the end of the renovation and what we turned that place to be. During the summer we have almost 1,000 kids in our day camps. It's amazing to see everybody running around all day. And it's a true community center, and it's great. And I think that, to tie it back to Crema and everything we talked about in the beginning, when you're creating a sense of a community with people, and people feel that they're welcome and they're loved and there's a place for them, I think that's really the secret sauce that makes places be so successful.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, that was a good wrap up right there, I think.
Yeah.
So we'll have to have you back on to talk about the J.
Would love to. Absolutely.
Yeah, we love it there. I have members. Last summer we were members, and this summer I'm members. Trying to get my son into working out, and my other kid's really into basketball. So it is a great place, whether you are or are not Jewish. It is an amazing facility.
All are welcome. It's an incredible place. We'd love to. And if anybody wants to hear more about it, just come on by. We have a great membership team, and love to tell you all about it, give you a tour, and show you what it's all the good stuff about it.
You will be amazed. Absolutely amazed. Well, cool. Well, thanks a lot, Roey. Appreciate it. And
thank you.
We'll talk to you soon.
Okay. Take care.